can see it's pretty small and compact. This one, this is my I worked from home the past 4 years, and I wanted to share with you guys the items I've used that really helped elevate my work from home experience and just make the day a lot better. So to get the day started, I'm gonna first share what I use to make coffee. So lately I've been refusing to pay for overpriced lattes and coffee, so I invested into this portable espresso maker. It's called the PicoPresso. I don't use the PicoPresso that often. I probably use it 2 or 3 times a week. And switch it up between my coffee and the tea that I normally have. So how it works is that you prep your coffee beans as you would with espresso, but the difference is in the extraction part. To extract the espresso, you basically hand pump here so that you can actually build the pressure and extract the espresso. It does take a bit of strength to actually hand pump because you build pressure, it gets harder and harder to pump. But over time, I found that I'm pretty used to it and it gets easier. So yeah, with the PicoPresso, you can get espresso in under 30 seconds and it just makes it so easy to bring this wherever you go. I personally love the PicoPresso because of how compact it is. You can see it's pretty small and compact. You can actually push in the hand pump so it closes in on itself. And all the items here fit perfectly in the PicoPresso, so it doesn't take too much space. But a downside of using the PicoPresso is that because it's compact, it has a lot of these little components here. It could be a lot to wash and clean up, and it could also get lost because of how small it is. So that's what I use to make espresso. And to pair with the PicoPresso, I use the Zpresso J Ultra. This is one of the higher end manual espresso grinders, and just holding it, it feels pretty well made and premium. It did cost a bit. It was like 150 bucks on Amazon when I first bought it. I think now it's like around 200 bucks. But like with the PicoPresso, it's more of an investment for me because I don't want to spend, upwards of $8 for a latte. And I'd rather invest that money into a well-made coffee grinder so that I can make less than $1 coffees. So like I mentioned before, it's very well made and it's pretty heavy, so you can actually feel the premium quality. But it also has very fine grind settings so that you can actually dial in how you want your coffees to be ground like. For espresso, that's pretty important because you want it to be really fine, and you can actually find the right kind of groundness that you want. This is how it sounds like when you actually dial it in your settings. If you haven't used a manual coffee grinder like this, you're gonna find that it's gonna be taking a lot more strength out of you to grind the coffee beans. I do still kind of break out in a sweat every time I use this, but it's a good, small workout. I do want to shout out my water kettle here. It's from Costco. It's the Chefman water kettle. It's just like any electric water kettle, but what I like about this one is that it holds much more. It holds 1.8 liters of water, and I just need to refill it once to last the entire day. I do want to note that I didn't really get everything that I wanted at first, and I slowly built up to what I have now. So for example, I slowly got my chair, I slowly got this desk. So like everything else that you're building, you build it incrementally. So all the items that I'm showing here are just items that I got over time. I remember I used to have a French press, or I even had like a blender that I used every day. For me, all the basics and essentials are the ones that I really wanted to focus on, because when it comes to day-to-day life, I think those are the most important, because you're gonna use those items every single day. And that's one thing that I learned about working remotely, is that you really don't need as much as you think you do. I traveled recently to go see my brother, and I brought all of my essential gear, and I realized everything fit in my backpack. So from my laptop to my coffee gear to all the chargers and batteries I needed, and also my camera gear, and I realized that these are just the essentials I need every day, and I don't need much after that. So obviously, since I'm working from home, I'm usually cooking, but I try not to cook lunch every day. One thing that I actually do is on the weekends, the week before, I prep lunch so that I don't have to get in the kitchen and cook during the weekdays. It just speeds up the process and allows me to actually rest rather than always having to cook and clean after each meal. I remember the early days of working remotely, I would make all my meals fresh, and I didn't realize how much time it took for me to cook and clean. And by the time I'm done with lunch, it's already been an hour. And I would rather use the remaining time that I save from meal prepping to actually resting and doing other stuff on my lunch break. Yeah, that's just a little hack that I found over the years, and it works pretty well for me. So since I'm usually at my desk just working, I like to balance that out with some movements. These are just some of my fitness gear that I use throughout the day. First up being the resistance bands. I have a few over here. I usually just use this to stretch and warm up. If I'm doing push-ups, I like to just warm up my shoulders and chest. I've been really getting into calisthenics, and my goal this year is to do one muscle up and do an L-sit. I think I'm pretty close to doing both those, but I still want to practice and build up strength to do it consistently. But yeah, I got this pull-up bar recently. It's a pull-up bar by Pull Up and Dip. It doesn't damage the door frame here, and all the grips here are pretty sturdy, and they feel pretty nice. Okay, let's do some pull-ups now. That's tough. So aside from the pull-up bar, I have a push-up board and a yoga mat down here. This is where I do my push-ups, stretches, and all that good stuff. In my journey of calisthenics, I've been trying to do 100 push-ups a day. Sometimes I do forget, or I do get lazy, but I try to do my best. And in terms of stretching, I try to stretch my legs, especially because with calisthenics, you kind of want to be flexible and have that mobility. But also I'm trying to build up my core strength, because that's pretty important whenever doing bodyweight exercises. So with this push-up board, you basically have this handle, and then you attach it to whatever position you want to train for. I usually keep it at this position or this green one here. If I want to do diamond push-ups, then I use these two blue ones. I've also attached these fat grips. It also helps activate your forearm muscles so that your wrists are more stable and not just like flat like that whenever you're doing push-ups on the ground. This push-up board has been coming in clutch recently for me, especially in my journey of calisthenics. I've been thinking about getting a walking treadmill under the desk so that I can actually walk while I do some work on the computer. But it's still kind of pricey. It's like over 300 bucks. I don't know if I want to bite the bullet and purchase it yet, since I'm already, going outside for walks. But yeah, these are just a few of the equipments I use to help me move throughout the day. I try to mix it up and get my body moving. But I also like going outside, so I try to maximize that as much as I can so that I can actually get sunlight too, because in this apartment, it's pretty dark and I don't get much sunlight in. Okay, so the last item I want to bring up is this one. This is my everyday bag. This is the Patagonia Black Hole Mini. So I was looking for a bag that can work as a travel bag as well as a everyday carry bag. I wanted a bag big enough to carry a lot of my stuff, clothes or my camera gear, but also one that's not too big. So I landed on getting this Patagonia bag. I recently went to SF and all I took was this bag. I packed up 2 days of clothes, 2 laptops, some of my camera gear, and it all fit in this bag surprisingly because it's not too thick, but it was definitely stuffed to the brim. But besides travel, I take this bag whenever I'm going to a cafe to do some work. I put my laptop in the sleeve here. It also has this big open space here to put anything else. It's mainly for clothes, but I usually just put like my camera gear or some chargers in there. But what I like about this bag is that it's versatile. It has a side pocket here for my water bottle. It has a smaller pocket up top here to store any smaller items. And it has a candle here to carry it if you don't want to carry on your back. I've taken this bag with me around different places around the country and there's no holes. The zipper still works. There's no like fabric wear, so I'm pretty happy about that. I'm definitely glad to have a bag like this because it's been working out for me in different situations and it's been my go-to bag for a while now. Anyways, these are just a few items that I want to call out that makes work from home more sustainable for me. These are more everyday items rather than tech items, and I just want to call these out because they play a big role in my everyday life. And these items are just as important as my desk setup here, my monitor, my keyboard, anything like that. It's still as important, and I do want to call out these items because it's been making my day a lot better and pick the items that work best for me in my everyday lifestyle. But that's going to be it for this video. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one.